Hi, I'm Stephen,
I'm Stella.
and this is the House Rules.
Elle is literally about to go any second now, so we just thought we'd tell you a little bit about what's coming up this week, because there's a lot happening in Parliament on lots of different issues. So Stephen, what are you working on this week?
Well, one of the things I've just been speaking on, and which the bell is about to go on a vote very, very shortly, is the issue of tax havens. This is something I've been working on for a while. People trying to avoid paying tax, big corporations trying to avoid paying tax, often that should be going to some of the poorest countries in the world. Yeah. And unfortunately, we have a lot of overseas territories and other dependent territories around the world, places like the British Virgin Islands, which you'll have heard of, was heavily featured in the so-called Panama Papers. Yeah. And one of the difficult things is it's very, very difficult to work out who owns the companies that are registered in these locations. Yeah. So I've been supporting colleagues like Caroline Flint and Margaret Hodge today on their amendment to try and ensure that there is a full, transparent list of who owns what in these tax havens, so we can really work out what's going on.
Often with tax legislation, if you can follow the name, you can follow the money. The bell goes when there is a vote. That means that whatever amendments we might have put down or the government might have put down, there's a division, there's difference of opinions about whether we're going to vote for them.
See, I've been leading a campaign with MPs here to stop him speaking in both houses of Parliament, but out there in the country we've had millions of people, including many thousands in both our constituencies, arguing that he shouldn't come on a full state visit.
7,000 people in Walthamstow alone have signed petitions saying they do not think he should be allowed to come.
And 4,000 or thereabouts in Cardiff South and Penarth. So clearly there's a lot of strong feeling out there.
It's about 10-15% of everybody who lives in my local community. A lot of people who feel very strongly. It's not they don't want Donald Trump to be spoken to or for us to work with him and try and challenge him. They just don't think we should roll out the red carpet for him. Sadly, the government doesn't seem to agree with us that actually there is a cause for concern. Particular shout out to John Bercow, who has listened to members of Parliament from across all different political parties who've said, actually, we don't think President Trump should be given the honour of addressing Parliament. Now, John Bercow's taken a lot of flack for doing that, but he was responding to a call from MPs like ourselves. So thank you, John, for listening.
Disappointing to see a pretty nasty and personal campaign from some MPs in the House, trying then to bring up a whole series of issues that they had of other concerns with the Speaker. But what's really pleasing is we've had MPs coming out again on all sides, including actually those who think that President Trump should make a state visit, saying that whatever their differences with the Speaker on that issue or on other issues,
clearly a hot topic,
they don't think that he should be being ousted from his position.
Sadly, although people in the government might say they don't agree with Donald Trump's approach in banning refugees, we now seem to be doing the same thing here in Britain. The government has closed what's called the Dubs Amendment, which was our commitment to taking refugee children from Europe and giving them a safe home here. Ever since then, we've been looking at how we can challenge their behaviour, and this Thursday in Parliament we'll be having a backbench business debate on the rights of refugees and particularly how we as a country treat unaccompanied child refugees. Promised we would take around 3,000 of these children. There are 95,000 of them in Europe, so it's really a very small number, but that would be us doing our bit. This government has turned its back on those children. We're trying to make sure, and there's MPs across the House who agree with this, that actually we do the right thing.
I've been working on an issue around taxi drivers and the gig economy. So many people these days working on low incomes in often very insecure work. It's not clear what their employment rights are, often being exploited by companies. And there's obviously been some very high profile cases of this. And I've been working with a lot of taxi drivers, and I'm hopefully going to be trying to get a debate on that in Parliament in the next few weeks.
And I'm working on something a bit more left field maybe, because Walthamstow was the English Hollywood. It was the home of film production in this country at the start of the turn of the century. So I've been working with local community groups to identify the places where they were, to have plaques put up to commemorate that, and to encourage our local creative industries. So we're at the moment looking at lots of pictures of all the films that were filmed in Walthamstow, and to make sure people can recognise it as the birthplace of British cinema.
But as you can hear, the bell is going, so that means
we better run.
Less than 8 minutes now to go down and vote on these important amendments. So we're going to get down and do that. But if you're enjoying the House Rules and you want to ask us questions, you want to find out more, obviously do subscribe, follow us, like us, and share this with other people, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube you're watching, and we'll be back soon with some more information.